Hey there, Mavericks! Welcome back. It's me, the Networking Maverick. You know me, maybe love me, Lauren Marsicano. I'll be leading you on this journey as we go through $1 Million 2019. Let me hear it! Woo! That's right. We're going for 7 figures this year, not just with my law firm, right, Marsicano and Leva, but with your companies as well. Because if you haven't started it, my hope is that I'm motivating you to launch one. Let me know how it's going. Drop a comment to see where you're at. What are you thinking? I want to help you. I want to be there for you. So drop a comment below. I'll try to respond to as many people as possible. You can always slide into my DMs. But let's get into it. You know what we're doing. This is week 3 in the series. We're going into step 2, research. I think we need a little bit of a recap. So step 1, identify your market. Step 2, research. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about it. Step 3, you're going to create a plan. We're going to create a plan of action to turn your network into net worth. Step 4, showing up. Step 5, follow up. Solidify that relationship. But step 2, research. Something very near and dear to my heart as an attorney, right? I love research. If I didn't like research, I definitely would not be an attorney. It's all about research. But I understand. Not everyone shares my passion for looking up the tiniest details and crushing your opponents. We're going to talk about ways you can target your research, how to streamline it, how to really get in there. And then by the end of this, you're going to know what to Google, where to look, how to stalk your potential target customer. So let's get right to it. In step 1, we talked about identifying your target customer. Your target customer, hopefully you have it written down. That was your assignment from last week that you're looking at right now because you're so studious. I love you. But you have the description. Maybe you just wrote it out right now as I was talking. That's okay. You just got to do it. It's not just important in understanding yourself, your company, your product and service. You need to have identified that target customer, and not only their target customer, your target customer's target customer, right? Again, let's go back to me as an example. I love targeting, and what gives me passion in life through this world is helping females and women in business get empowered, launch a company, or at least build their own book of business in their own company that they're at right now. My target customer is probably in their 20s or 30s, maybe in their first job, second job right now, thinking about launching their own company. Maybe they're just, they have a company, but they don't know where they're going with it. They need a little bit more guidance. So where would that person go? A lot of times, they go to a chamber event, they go to a networking event in the area, maybe they go to Venture Cafe. If they're creative, if you're targeting creatives, you should look up the different events in your area that creatives are going to go to. Those events targeting creatives are where your creative is going. Maybe your target is someone that's helping creatives. So someone that's providing, paint, or maybe an online system to help organize a creative's Rolodex or their artwork or post them. All those people are going to go to creative events. What are your referral streams? So if you have been in business for at least like a month or 2, you probably had some referrals come in. Write down where those referrals came from. For me, a lot of referrals come from other attorneys. So I'm going to say, okay, I've noticed that my last 3 clients have come from attorneys that are immigration attorneys or family law attorneys or trademark attorneys. Maybe I should go to more events that target the trademark attorney or that target the immigration attorney, just so I can go. Number 1, you might think, why am I going to waste money on an event that talks about immigration law when I don't do immigration? Well, I always love learning about all the different areas of law because I think it makes me a better advisor for my clients, even if that's not what I'm providing to them. That's not the service I'm providing. I just think it makes me better all around. So I'm always going to learn something. So I love learning. So I'm going to go to those events and have a great time regardless. But I'm also going to have my realistic goal to make 3 meaningful connections with new immigration attorneys. So I'm going, maybe I want to make the connection with the speaker. Maybe I know someone in the area that's going that I want to, have lunch with that day as well, and maybe make connections with their group, their network. So I think it's worthwhile going to those events, even if you think, maybe I don't want to learn about that area or that thing, but hey, you never know. And I think gaining knowledge in general is valuable. Learning about something, getting uncomfortable, making the uncomfortable comfortable is something as entrepreneurs we really need to get used to. I would recommend looking at those referral streams and going to those events. You should have already known where your target customer is going, looked it up online. You're seeing where Jen that came in last week, I friended her on Instagram and Facebook because I'm building those relationships. And I realized she's going to a women empowerment summit in California. Man, I wonder if I can work that into my budget this year. This seems like a really great event with some amazing speakers. Maybe I should make that a priority. Don't just think locally, right? Think globally. Have the global mindset. Always be connecting everywhere. ABCE. I wonder if we can do an ABCD. Always be connecting directly everywhere. ABCDE. Let's do it. We're just going to have the whole alphabet. By the end of the series of videos, we're going to go through Z. I digress. Maybe you want to work into your budget going global this year, going to a networking event. I went to a networking event this past year in Japan, Venture Cafe Tokyo. We have one in Miami. And let me tell you, even though we got there toward the end of the event, the people that we connected with couldn't have been more amazing, right? And I wouldn't have known that had I not researched online Venture Cafe. And they became great contacts. They took us out in Tokyo. We learned some amazing things. But if I hadn't researched Venture Cafe and seen, wow, hey, they have a Venture Cafe Tokyo. That could be awesome, meeting entrepreneurs globally. What? Crazy. But I had to do that research. If I hadn't done the research, I would never have known that. I would have never made those connections. Shout out to my VenCap Tokyo fam. It's really important to go through these steps. Go on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Facebook, right? Oh man, my age is showing, right? But yeah, you want to go on all these social media sites, really look that up. Don't forget to also ask yourself this: what's your passion? What's your interest? Are you really passionate about a specific charity in your area? Do you love helping animals? Are you really passionate about sports? You just like playing intramural volleyball or bowling. Maybe you're really passionate about going to the beach. You have a beach nearby. I don't know. That's a passion of yours. I love it. I love the water. It's very calming for me. Speaking of calming, maybe your passion is meditation and yoga. I think that if you have a passion and an interest in any of those things, target groups like that. Just go to them with the mindset that networking isn't just networking events. Networking can happen anytime, anywhere, because if your mindset is that networking is building relationships and making connections, those can happen literally anywhere after walking out the door. Sometimes they come to you. I don't know what you're doing in your homes. I'm not gonna judge. But usually it happens after you step out, unless you're hosting a party. That's why the mindset has to be, you're always keeping that PMA, right? That positive mental attitude, making those connections. But it can happen anywhere, at the gym, at a local meetup event. I personally like playing board games. So we go to a board game meetup event. I mean, I really like those, and I make really great connections there because I love what I'm doing. I'm having fun. I need to know what are my passions and interests and really build connections in that, because maybe those aren't going to be clients, but those could be people that are going to introduce you to your best client. You never know. Just make connections in the community. So you're going to be researching those events as well. Now that you've answered those questions, look at that. Where do you find these events? Where are people going to find them? Well, so number one, I'm trying to post about them, right? I'm releasing weekly blogs. A lot of them are reviewing networking events in the South Florida area or national or international conferences or events I've been to let you know, to get it out there. I'm also releasing it on a calendar, upcoming events that I'm going to, events that I've heard about. If you have any events, you can always send them to me. Let me know on Instagram, Facebook, email. Drop it in a comment below if you think, wow, Lauren, I think you'd really love this event. Let me know about it. I want to be a fountain of knowledge, and therefore I need all the water knowledge that you're going to give me about events. So let me know about them. You want to find them specifically. If it's not on my calendar on networkingmaverick.com, it's not on my blog, there are a lot of places you can actually look. Are you following your ideal client? If so, they might be posting about events. Look at their stories. You can always see, even if they're not specifically saying, hey, I'm going to this upcoming event, you can see when they go to an event, right? A lot of times people are posting about fun and interesting events that they love. So then you can follow that event page. So you'll know, hey, okay, Brad and his wife went to this event, and wow, it looks like a lot of my customers, because I'm targeting families like Brad and Jen. I love them. And oh man, this event looks like it's for families. Oh, wow. And now I'm following, and you're going into then you're probably going into a social media spiral, just deep diving into all these hashtags and follows, but you're really going to find some great events that way. Another way to do it is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, people are posting a lot about events or upcoming articles on events or conferences that are coming out. I'm part of the American Bar Association, and the Young Lawyers Division posts some great conferences. They have 4 conferences a year, 2 just for them and 2 that are national ABA conferences. I love the live events, right? I love going to these conferences. I get to see people that I've only known via email or Facebook or Instagram, and you get to meet them and connect with them and learn about them. I love that. And it really solidifies the relationship from online to in person. But so I'm going to follow the American Bar Association Young Lawyers Division on Facebook and Instagram, so I know, oh, this is coming out, or this talk is happening. You can also really go through Facebook groups. So these Facebook groups are going to have a lot of postings you can become part of. So I'm part of like Style Collective on there, which is a sisterhood support group. I also follow Miami Under 40, which is always having local events, and those are really great. Escapades, anything online where I can become part of a group. You know, Miss Esquire posts a lot about lawyer events that are around, a lot in Florida, but everywhere. I follow a lot of women empowerment groups on Instagram, so I'm constantly seeing, okay, these groups are having events coming up that look like they're going to be targeted toward my female entrepreneurs, my strong women. They're going to be there in full force, and I'm going to be there too. So you're going to go through all of this on social media. Another one that I think is underutilized is just going on at meetup.com. This is where those interests I talked about earlier come into play. You can see where board games meetups are happening, volleyball meetups. Maybe you just like salsa dancing or art. Wynwood down here has a lot of art events. Another one's Eventbrite. A lot of the smaller groups, especially, you can buy tickets to their event through Eventbrite. You can also search on Eventbrite. You can just say like real estate events or lawyer events or business events. You can get through all of them in a specific geotagged area. So why not just look up those events on there, and some of them are, maybe newer, but that doesn't mean they're not great, right? Just because you haven't heard of them before, maybe they're an untapped, genuine resource of like gold. They're a gold vein just waiting for you to chip away at them, right? You're going to make your next best connection because no one else is talking about it, which means it's probably the best time for you to get in on the ground floor. I think these are all things you can be looking up on Eventbrite, meetup groups, your associations, your chambers. Another one, ask. Just ask. You're having coffee with a connection, you're at lunch or whatever, you say, hey, what events do you like? What events have you really found resonated with you? What events did you feel you made the best connections at, or made the most clients from, or met the most people, or got the most value from? Just ask people. People are usually more than willing. No one's hoarding events. So like the invite-only events, yeah. If you're part of Ivy, like I'm part of Ivy, those are invite-only member events that you can invite guests to, but that doesn't mean you can't know about it, right? I would tell people, oh yeah, Ivy's great. They have some great educational events. Maybe you should become a part of it. I can send you a link to maybe see one event coming up. I think they allow you to bring a guest, whatever. But if you don't ask me, I'm never gonna tell you, right? Let me take that back. I'm probably gonna tell you, but that's just because I'm me and I'm trying to provide resources to you. But a normal person isn't just out of the blue gonna be like, hey, what's going on? And this, just as an aside, this is a great way to follow up with people too. I'll be talking about it later. Sending events you think they're interested in. What a great thing. Oh, you thought about me for this event. Wow, I feel flattered. Thank you for even thinking about me for this. What? Made a new connection or solidified that connection. If you don't ask, you're not gonna know. So on that vein, when you're researching, when you're looking up on Facebook, on Instagram, you want to be thinking, do I want big events or do I want small events? If you're just starting out and you feel really overwhelmed, start with small events. Start with those little small, even within a chamber. So the chamber events are probably going to be bigger, but then they have smaller events like the Women in Business the Women in Business section might have a smaller event. They might have a Wind Down Wednesday event that's less people. You might, like Escapades that I go to is a smaller curated dinner. So these are smaller events you're going to feel better about. But so you want to be thinking, do you want big or small? And it doesn't matter whether you're going big or small because you're going to make those same amount of connections, right? You're focusing on the 3 meaningful connections. But you just want to be thinking, does this event look like it's going to add a lot of value? Maybe it's too expensive for you right now, but you're going to plan it in the budget for next year. Maybe it's so great you just have to be there. But if you're not thinking about it, you're not going to plan effectively in step 3 that we're going to do next time, right? So think about researching big versus small events, in person versus virtual. This is something that's very, very popular now. So I don't just network and go to networking events live and in person, even though I love those. I go on social media. Those live streams that your favorite person is going to be doing, if they're your target customer or your target customer's target customer or a group you really like, supporting them on social media is great. Obviously, the bigger ones, like I follow Sephora and some really, really big companies out there. Obviously, their live streams, thousands of people just commenting. It might not be as valuable, but for me, I know when I do live streams, people that comment or participate, I actually try to follow up with people afterwards because I can see who was in and who was participating. And I just like to say, hey, thank you so much for being there. And that's a way that I'm connecting with you online. That's networking. Be like, hey, I'm so happy you're doing this. I love this video. Keep it up. As long as you mean it. So don't be fake. I'm not about being fake. I'm all about being authentic. If you really feel like this person's doing awesome, let them know. Be like, wow, you're doing some amazing work, right? Like, I'm so excited to support you in the community. You can be connecting with people online. I always recommend at some point trying to take the relationship offline because that's how you're going to really solidify it. But you can be networking online. Think about these online events. Make a list of these live streams because you can do those from anywhere. You could just be at home and be like, oh, I really want to see what they're going to say on this live stream. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes they just go live and you're like, ah. But like Scotch Society 305 has a lot of events I like to participate in. I like to say I'm their number 1 fan, right? Of the Scotch Girl and Scotch Society 305. Shout out to my fam, my Scotch and Whiskey fam. What? But I got involved with them by I love their events. Like, I just love what they do. I love what they're doing on social media and their live streams and everything. But I participated in them and I really formed some great friendships from it. So I think that if you're not considering virtual networking, then you're missing out on like half your potential connection base, right? Always be connecting directly everywhere. That's what we brought it out to, A, B, C, D, E. But no, just always be connecting, right? But so think about in-person versus virtual. If you're doing this, if you made it, you're at the end of the video. Congratulations. You now know how to research. It feels good, right? We made it through step 1, identifying. Step 2, research. Next week, we're going to be talking about planning. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Woo! Let's do it. We're going to be talking about that next week. Don't forget, if there's something you still have a question on, maybe you have an idea for an upcoming video, let me know. Drop a comment. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video, but drop a comment below. Let me know. How's it going with turning your network into net worth? Any feedback for the community? Let everyone else know what's worked for you, what hasn't worked. Maybe you have another suggestion. I'd love to shout you out. You can slide into my DMs. Let me know on Instagram, on Facebook. Anyway, email me. You can also subscribe to my newsletter monthly. It's going to be providing a lot of value for you on there. My blog on networkingmaverick.com. And if you're there and you feel like you have what it takes to be a networking maven, fill out the questionnaire. I would love, anyone that has an interesting perspective and story and an experience that they want to share with the community, I'm more than willing to look at that and take it into consideration to connect with you, because I want to make you a networking maven if I can, right? Because if you're going to add value to the Networking Maverick community, that's great. That's all I want to do. So thank you. Congratulations. You did it. Woo! We're going for $1 million in 2019 and we are on our way. We are well on our way, people. I'm so excited. Networking Maverick signing out. Happy connecting.